The idea of detoxification, an overview about what that is, what's going on in your body, some of the reasons to undergo a detox program, and some of the misconceptions about detoxing. My history with detoxing is when I began my education in nutrition, I was very skeptical about detox programs. I was kind of a purist. I thought that we could get everything that we needed, everyone could get everything that they needed from food. Come to find out, that's not always possible. It's not always possible to optimize everything. One of my biggest learning experiences in the clinic setting was with a weight loss client who, she kind of tried everything. She had lots of different suboptimal functioning of different systems throughout her body. We tried to optimize things. We tried to optimize her thyroid, different stuff. Nothing was working. She was still really struggling. So we put her on a detox program, and that was the thing that did it. So that really opened my eyes to some of the benefits of detoxing, not just for weight loss, but for optimizing systems throughout the body. So what are some of the reasons to do a detox? Does anybody want to shout out why they're interested in doing a detox?
For energy?
Energy? Yeah. Somebody else?
Well, impurities maybe for medications and things like that.
Yeah.
If the liver gets overtaxed for different reasons.
Definitely. Yeah, so just the basic thing is that we're reducing the toxins that we've stored in our body. We're all exposed to toxins every day, some people more than others, but the homes that we live in, the buildings that we're surrounded by, the chairs that we sit in, we just can't avoid them. So we're all storing things, and some of us are eliminating them better than others. So some other reasons, through reducing the stored toxins, we're going to improve energy, brain function, mood, get rid of mental fogginess, decrease inflammation and oxidation and all the benefits that come with that. And again, thyroid and hormones, a lot of the toxins are endocrine disruptors, so they can really interfere with a lot of different hormonal pathways. Insulin. And the big one is to promote weight loss. That's a big reason why a lot of people go and do a detox program, and it's definitely helpful for weight loss, but I want to try to dispel some of the commonly held ideas about why that is. So, does it happen because we cut calories? A lot of these detox programs include some fasting days, and they include really radically changing your diet. So are we losing weight from a detox because we're cutting calories? Not so much. That can definitely be a part of it. A lot of times changing our diet, if we go from eating fast food meals to eating meals at home, even if it's the same thing, a hamburger bought from a fast food restaurant versus a hamburger that you cook at home is going to have very different nutritional quality. So that is part of it, but it's really more about toxins promoting weight gain and detoxing really preparing your body for weight loss. So it's not so much about losing weight during the detox program, it's more about that setting you up to have successful weight loss in the future after you include some lifestyle, some dietary changes. So there are a couple of ways that I mentioned that toxins promote weight gain. So one idea is endocrine disruption. So a lot of toxins in the environment mimic hormones that are normally made in the body. So that can upregulate activity that we wouldn't necessarily normally want upregulated. It can also mimic them just enough to block different hormonal receptors. So they're not similar enough to actually activate processes, but they're just similar enough to block receptors so that the real hormones can't get in there and do their job. The other idea is this dispersal theory. So most toxins are fat soluble, which means that they get stored in our fat cells. Once the fat cells that we have get saturated with these toxins, the body has sort of an adaptive response and wants to disperse them, so it creates more fat cells. So you need more fat to store more fat-soluble toxins. And that's really where the difficulty of losing fat comes in. So how do we remove the toxins? There's 2 phases of toxin removal in the body. Phase 1 actually releases stored toxins into our system and for a period makes them more toxic than they were originally. This is where you get into some trouble when doing a detox program and feeling worse on it, because we're upregulating this first phase, but we're not necessarily also upregulating the second phase, which turns those toxins into something that you can excrete. So we'll talk about a little later too why excretion and elimination are really, really important. These are the ways that you get the toxins out of your body. So for the 7-day challenge that we're running, we're using this Core Restore supplement kit, and it comes with this really great patient guide that kind of reviews a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today. So I just want to kind of run through the contents that are in here. So it's a 7-day program. The first 2 days are fasting days, and you're using some of the supplements. The next 5 days are non-fasting. So you're eating real, delicious, tasty, whole food. It's not about depriving yourself. It's not about cutting calories. It's about eliminating some common allergenic foods and eliminating a lot of processed foods and added sugars. So one of the main points of intervention that the supplements in this kit focus on is herbs and nutrients for the liver. The liver is the big detoxification organ. I mean, a lot of your systems are involved in detoxing, but the liver is really responsible for a lot. So some of these you may recognize, some of them may be a little less familiar to you. One of the really cool ones, this sulforaphane potential, is kind of an interesting one, and I read that and I thought, potential? What does that mean? So I did a little more research about it. It's a phytonutrient. It's high in a lot of the cruciferous vegetables. So broccoli, cauliflower, the Romanesco cauliflower that was on the screen before would probably be high in it too. And it's a detox enzymes for the liver. So in food, it doesn't actually activate until you start chewing it. So it's the enzymes in your saliva that are helping to activate it, and that's why it's referred to as potential. It's not actually there until you start doing the work. Schisandra is another one. It's a really good adaptogen for general stress support. It helps the liver. It's protective of the liver. It's good for general immune system support. Choline is another one that it helps prevent fat accumulation in the liver. So that's really important in order for your liver to really do its job optimally. Glutamine is a good one that's included in this supplement kit because it actually helps to reduce carbohydrate cravings, which are a huge issue for a lot of people, not just when they're detoxing, but all the time. So the next big group here is antioxidants. And a lot of the antioxidants are going to help alleviate that kind of withdrawal feeling that people get during a detox. So there are supplements in here that protect against cell damage, which is going to be important during that phase 1 detox when things are becoming more toxic and being spread throughout your system. Alpha-lipoic acid is good for that. It's also good for heavy metal toxicity. Rosemary, it improves circulation and it's a diuretic. So your kidneys are also important in eliminating toxins from your body. The ellagic acid is something that's found in berries, walnuts, pecans. So those are some good foods that you can focus on during the detox. Because it's not just about supplements, it's also about the food that you're eating and optimizing your diet to reduce foods that are going to make detoxing more difficult and increase foods that are going to make it a little better for the body. The kit also has some blood sugar regulators in it. So this is especially important, during the fasting days, people who tend to go hypoglycemic, so low blood sugar. These supplements will help to regulate that. And also the glycine also acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, so that's going to help with relaxation, and it also helps with phase 2 detox. One of the big problems that people run into when detoxing is constipation. A lot of times this is because they're not eating enough, and they're not eating enough of vegetables in particular. So fiber is really, really important. The kit here actually doesn't contain vast amounts of fiber, so it's really, really crucial to include 5 servings, at least 5 servings of vegetables every day. So that would be a cup of raw or a half a cup of cooked veggies. You can also there are some supplements that you can do if you really get into trouble and you find that you're not able to have a daily bowel movement. Because again, if you're not doing that, then those toxins aren't getting excreted. You end up reabsorbing them in the GI tract, and then you're really just wasting your time with the detox. So what can you expect to happen during the detox, and what can you eat? It's the big question. So before and after, we're going to do a series of measurements so that you can kind of see your success. We have the antioxidant test. Has anyone done that over in the apothecary? So that's a test that, Jonathan has. That's a test that it's a really simple test. You just use the palm of your hand, and it measures the antioxidant level in your body. So it's kind of a measure of how are you doing in terms of combating the oxidation that happens just through normal body processes, through exposure to toxins, through having a high BMI, things like that. So we'll measure that. We have a whole symptoms questionnaire that goes through different body systems, and you rate the things that you're experiencing, and we're going to calculate that before and after and see if you're actually reducing some of the negative experiences that you have on a daily basis. And then your good old body composition stuff, waist hip, blood pressure, weight, fat mass, fat-free mass, and your hydration level, which is a really cool measure that we can do. Now, so the detox itself is a 7-day program. I really recommend that you start preparing your body for the detox before you even open the kit. It will make those first 2 fasting days so much easier for you. So 1 to 3 days, as soon as you can, before you're going to start the detox, it's a really good idea to start reducing things like caffeine, sugar, white flour, processed foods, caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, all of the things that you're not going to be able to have at all during the 7 days. It's good to start gradually reducing them before you even start. It'll make things so much better. And then also preparing your kitchen for the 7 days. So that means separating out the food that you're not supposed to have during the 7 days, so that every time that you're hungry and you open the cabinet or you open the refrigerator, you don't have to go back and refer to the list of allowed foods and say, oh, can I have that? You don't make any mistakes. You're not tempted by these things every time that you open the cabinet and see them. Just make it nice and easy on yourself. Get rid of them. Or just put them in a cabinet and don't open that one. Also, batch cooking is really good. This is a great technique to use all the time when you're busy. Cook things in large quantities that can be portioned out. It's easy to grab to take for lunches during the week. You can put things in the freezer, and everything's prepared for you. If you're not someone who likes to cook or you don't have a lot of time to cook, this makes that easy on you. Everything's ready. You can have like one cooking day during the week and pretty much everything's ready. Even things like salads, you can portion everything out, and it makes it really simple. And this booklet has it actually surprised me, it has some really good recipes in it. We also have a handout for you that has some recipes in it, and a lot of those can be made ahead. So during your fasting days, you're not having nothing. It's not just water. So let me open this up, show you what's in here. So this is the core support powder, and this is what you're having this every day, twice a day. During the fasting days, it's sort of your meal replacement. So you'll have it for breakfast and dinner. You can mix it with non-dairy milk, 100% juice. You can do it with water. And those things are all okay to have on your fasting days. So we're not being super strict with fasting here, because for a lot of people, fasting just doesn't work for them. People have low blood sugar, different issues where people just can't do it. And you probably know yourself, and you probably know if you've tried that before. You know if you get lightheaded really easily if you don't eat. If you're someone who needs to eat like every 2 or 3 hours, then maybe you want to include more of the non-dairy milks, the fruit and vegetable juices, even things like chicken broth, like a low sodium chicken broth or veggie broth. That's okay to do during the fasting days. And then you'll do the same thing at dinner. So that's the core support powder, and this kit has this neat little portable blender thing. It's battery operated. It's really kind of cool. So you can take this with you and mix up your. I don't have batteries in here right now to show you. So you can take it with you. You can mix up your shake, and it's really pretty cute. So that's just 2 days, 2 days of fasting. And you're also emphasizing things like teas. You can do hot water with lemon, stuff like that. So the fasting days, or the non-fasting days, 5 days of that. And during that time, you're still doing the shake. And you can do it, you have a little more flexibility with what you're mixing it in. So you can do like more of a smoothie. And we've got a good recipe for you in the handout for a smoothie. You can put the non-dairy milk and avocado, some berries, some ground ginger in there. You can make it really tasty. And then Carrie actually has a great recipe for salmon and avocado. Now, one of the things, the booklet recommends certain foods to eliminate during this time, and most of them are common allergen foods, so things like corn, soy, gluten, wheat, dairy, and it also includes eggs and fish. Now, over at the apothecary, we have a really high quality fish that we sell from Vital Choice, and the reason that they're excluding fish in here is because of the potential mercury and other contaminants. The Vital Choice tests for things like that. They test for contaminants. So that's a really safe fish to include. And it just gives you another protein option. I think without that, the non-fasting days are a little tougher. The Vital Choice is okay to include. So Carrie has a great wild salmon and avocado salad recipe that we're going to give you. And then this booklet has a really good black bean soup recipe and stuffed pepper recipe. So that's what your non-fasting day could look like. You can snack on raw nuts, You can snack on gluten-free, soy-free crackers, hummus, guacamole, make kale chips, have all kinds of fresh veggies, crudité. So I mean, that's not a bad day of eating. So we talked about one of the side effects that can happen during a detox, which is constipation. So we want to do our best to avoid it. So that means drinking plenty of water. It means not relying just on vegetable juice. A lot of people think that, oh, detox juicing, and it's okay to include a little of that. It's okay to, mix your shake with a little 100% juice. But just remember that fruit juice is really high in fructose. Yes, it's natural, but it's still going to spike your blood sugar. Still not the greatest option. And fruit and vegetable juice doesn't have the fiber in it. So focus on whole fruits and vegetables, not just juices. Prunes, it sounds old-fashioned, but they really are a great constipation reliever. Sometimes our grandmothers, they knew what they were doing. You can also do ground flax seeds daily, and then we're listing a couple supplements that you can try. Triphala is a good non-traditional laxative to use because it's not going to cause some of the dependency that some of the other laxatives like Senna can do. It's actually going to help tone your colon. And then the Colon RX and the Cleanse More have Triphala as well as some other ingredients in them like magnesium to help you go and eliminate those toxins. Now you may also experience some fatigue, just some general blah, and vitamin C can help. Taking adaptogens can help, so rhodiola, drinking Tulsi tea, which if you haven't had it, it's actually one of my favorite teas. It tastes really good. It has sort of an astringent clove-like taste that makes it a really good replacement for like black tea if you're trying to get off the caffeine in the black tea. And then cordyceps mushrooms can help, and really just being gentle on yourself and taking the time to rest. That it's not a good idea to do this when you are studying for an exam or you're running a marathon or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're choosing to do this at a time where you can really focus on what you're doing. You have the time to do some cooking. You have the time to rest, so that it won't be a total burden on your life and on your body. So I just want to go through some of the common misconceptions about detoxing. We've talked about a few already. So a lot of people think that they should restrict calories while detoxing. Don't do this. Your body needs nutrients during a detox. So cutting your calories just means that you're robbing your body of more nutrients that it really can use during this time. It's just not the time to do that, and it's not the focus. And again, don't rely on juices alone. Don't rely on just bottled juices that you find, and don't really make them the focus of what you're doing. You can't get enough fiber that way. It's best to get your fiber from whole veggies. Beans are a really good source, really great to include during a detox. And the other thing that sort of goes hand in hand with juicing is raw foods. A lot of people think juicing raw, that's really gonna clean me out and make me really good to go. It's winter, it's cold out, so you need heated foods. Raw foods during this time are just gonna make you cold and probably pretty miserable. That doesn't mean that you can't eat any, but you wanna make sure that you're keeping your body warm and nourished and comforted during a time when you're detoxing. So soups and stews, stuff like that is really great. And it's great all the time, and most of those ingredients are going to be good on a detox, good and safe and okay to include. I shouldn't exercise at all. Gentle exercise is important for detoxification. During the fasting days, you might need to take it a little easier on yourself. Definitely listen to your body, but sweating is one of the means by which we get rid of toxins. There was actually a study done a couple of years ago that found like heavy metals in sweat. So you definitely want to sweat and then take a shower so that that stuff's not getting back into your body. So gentle things, walking, stretching, yoga. Even on your most tired days, it's good to stretch, good to move your body a little bit. And then what I think is the most important phase of the detox is what you do afterwards. So just remember that detoxing is sort of a preparation. It's a preparation for lifestyle changes and dietary changes. You're going to get rid of these toxins so that you're enabling your body to have optimal health. So there's a few things that you want to do after the detox, so that you don't feel like you have to detox every month. So one way is to remove accumulated toxins. You'll have already done this. Some people detox annually, some people detox seasonally. It depends on what your job is. If you're an auto mechanic, for example, you're working around a lot of toxic materials. So your body may accumulate toxins at a higher rate than other people. So that's something to consider. When possible, you want to reduce your exposure to toxins. So there's a lot of ways to do that. Like I said, a lot of things are unavoidable, and we don't want to make ourselves crazy and feel like we can't live in our houses because they're full of toxic things. But we can make choices. So eating organic foods, focusing especially on like the dirty dozen versus the clean 15. So picking your battles. Eating humanely raised meat so that we're avoiding the stress hormones of mistreated animals and the antibiotics that come with that. Continuing to eliminate some of the things that you've eliminated during the detox, or reducing. So that means added sugar, processed foods, fast foods, things like that. Trying to drink filtered water over bottled water, so we're avoiding the potential problems with plastics. Non-toxic cleaning products, you can make your own out of vinegar, different essential oils, and the same with personal care products. If you haven't seen this website, it's EWG.com. It's the Environmental Working Group, and they rate different personal care, cosmetics, shampoo, baby products, stuff like that. And it's a really great resource to just, go there, search your shampoo that you put on your head every day, and just see what they think about it. And maybe you might want to look at some alternatives. Again, using glass and stainless steel food storage and cooking containers, so not microwaving things in plastic. Using a HEPA filter or indoor plants that actually help freshen and filter the air in your home. Again, continue eating adequate fiber and low mercury fish, so the Vital Choice and beans and veggies are all great to continue doing. And then the third way is to improve your detox pathways. So your body isn't only detoxing when you're doing a detox program. It's doing these things all the time. So there are lots of things that you can do to optimize those pathways on a daily basis. So helping your liver by eating sulfur foods. So sulfation pathways are one of the ways that your liver is detoxifying. So that means garlic and onions, your cruciferous veggies. Your gallbladder is important in detoxing too, so helping them or maintaining a healthy weight and avoiding a lot of the fried foods, especially like trans fat fried foods, things like deep fried foods. Drinking adequate water to keep your kidneys healthy and keep them doing their job so that they, remember what their job is. So trying to sweat every day. Preferably exercise. It's a really healthy thing for not just your heart, but also detoxing to break a sweat, and it feels good. You can also do the sauna, like the infrared sauna. And again, exercising, deep breathing practices. Your lungs are another means of eliminating toxins. So every time that you exhale, you're getting rid of stuff. Your lymphatic system is important, and that's also improved through exercise, lymphatic massage, the LET therapy, and different homeopathic supplements that can help with that. And then again, daily bowel movements and fiber for your GI tract. So, I mean, that's sort of my main message about detoxing, is don't let it go to waste. You know, don't spend this week focusing on your body only to retoxify yourself, you know, the day that it ends. Don't binge on sugar the next day. It's really, really tempting. If you are going to go back to eating that way, at least do it gradually so it's not a major shock to your system. And we're going to give you some recipes that can help you get you used to cooking, getting in your kitchen, making that a priority. So I'm going to open up the floor to questions. We've got a pretty small group, so I'm happy